Adam Frost and we're at Barnsdale Gardens. We've been really lucky this year. We've been approached by Homebase to build a garden at Chelsea Flower Show. Here's the 22 by 10 metre plots on Main Avenue. I'm really chuffed that they've decided to go with us. I know they approached 4 people, so it was lovely to get the commission. I came up with the idea of the ornamental kitchen garden. I had to come up with something that I felt was going to bring it up to date. And the only way I could do that really was to create a name in my head. So I came up with Harvest and Habitat, and then really developed it from there, in the sense that then I developed a family that this garden would be created for. They were a couple with young children. They wanted their kids to know where their food came from. Grow this in a border, and then this time of year, starting to get your own sweet corn. Then you realise why they're called sweet corn, because they taste awesome, unbelievable. They wanted them to be aware that there was a larger world out there, and i.e. there was a habitat, there was nature, and understand how that all worked. But they wanted an ornamental garden that worked for them and their larger family, so somewhere they could entertain with their friends. So this whole ball starts sort of rolling and rolling in my head. We're obsessed with growing flowers, and we don't need to be. I mean, this, that's as beautiful as any flower anyway. It wasn't just about growing plants, vegetables within plants. It was actually starting to look at sort of foraging, bringing that countryside into your garden, so you had that real connection with nature outside your back door. And that's how the whole thing started developing. Well, when you get to Chelsea, you've got to tell a story. The ornamental kitchen garden to me felt dated. I needed to update that, and updating it meant bringing in other features. Harvest and Habitat was born of that, and then hopefully, when it's there and it's pasted on the garden, people start to realise what it was all about. It works in 2 ways. It's somewhere that we can habitat and harvest, and somewhere where wildlife can habitat and harvest. So that's the principle behind the garden. Then the brief had to be developed, and that was really developed around a family. I always said the first time I went to Chelsea and got the real big one, I wanted to build a real garden. I know when people turn up, they're going to look at it and they're going to say, yeah, I could do a bit of that, I can understand that, I can see where that comes from. It's got some grass, it's got fruit trees, it's got somewhere to cook, it's got somewhere to sit, under an arbour. But just to actually get that space to yourself after the journey that I've been on. We've started to work out really detailed planting. We've started to speak to Nick Hamilton here at Barnsdale. He's going to grow all the vegetables for us. There's a couple of other growers that we're talking about big stock. Some of the apple trees and maybe the pear have got to come in from Germany, so that's all started to happen. I've already gone on and spoke to Marshalls, the big stone company, about supplying the stone. I've got a meeting now booked with the man about the detailed steel work. We're talking to Dave, our wonderful boat maker, about how we're going to create our wonderful beehive and how that's going to be sculpted out timber. The old standard sort of beehive that we're using now, but at Chelsea, in the middle of our garden, at the front, we have got a piece of lawn with a lovely big fruit tree with a sculpted beehive sat underneath, and that's my sort of head statement, is to the public of stop, look, think, what we need in our gardens, what our countryside needs. And the old rope, the old rope beehives, we're going to create something that represents that, but sculpted out of timber. But it is going to be a working beehive, not that we'll be able to take bees to Chelsea before you ask. That beehive is going to be a major, major statement. We really would, wouldn't we? Like to do a video diary of this. We'd like to keep going the way we are. There are so many interesting things as this garden As the story develops, you know, as the garden develops, there's so many interesting places we could go and gather information. And I think that doing it this way, we could really start to tell the story and build some momentum for the garden. I'm just excited. I just want to get there and just actually build a garden that hopefully inspires a few people to have a go.